She's your queen to be, a queen to be forever, a queen who'll do whatever His Highness desires.
Yo, kids used to call me him back in the day. I think I outgrown that. Welcome everybody, I'm RJ of The Nerdy Brew, and here on this channel we talk TV, movies, and everything in between, all while drinking a cup of coffee. Now if you like one of those things or all of those things, why don't you consider subscribing and hit that notification bell and becoming a fellow Brewster. So today, fellow Brewsters, we are reviewing Coming to America. The movie stars Eddie Murphy, Shara Headley, Arsenio Hall, Jermaine Fowler, Wesley Snipes, Tracy Morgan, Leslie Jones, John Amos, with appearance by James Earl Jones, written by Barry Bolstein, directed by Craig Brewer. So the premise of the movie is 30 years later after the events of the first movie, which is called Coming to America, and it is Prince Akeem, and his father is on his deathbed, and he requires him to have a male heir. And over the last 30 years, he has had 3 daughters, no sons to his knowledge. So, comes to find out from a shaman that is in his inner circle, brings out the information that he has a son that he had from an experience in his time in Queens and New York. So he ends up going back to New York to retrieve his son, and his son ends up being Jermaine Fowler. He had a one-night stand with Leslie Jones, and it came to be about on a very creepy and not a good upright way that he was conceived, I will say that. So nonetheless, he's his son, so they go back to Zamunda in Africa, and it is basically trying to get him adjusted to his new position in life and his new his role as the prince and heir to Zamunda's throne, right? And the what the premise is, or what goes on between them, is just that from the first movie they're trying to proctor an alliance with Nextdoria, and Nextdoria is ruled or dictated by Izzy, who is the son of the last dude who had the barking daughter from Coming to America, and that's played by Wesley Snipes. And he is the external threat to the movie, where he's gonna try to move in on Zamunda and have his own, throw the monarchy into chaos, right? And that's basically his position. So after that, they get him there, and he's supposed to marry the daughter, just like Prince Akeem of the fathers, of the dictatorship, right? So they could have an alliance and a relationship. So he ends up getting to see her, and it's Tiana Taylor, and I definitely respect that response of saying yeah, I would marry her, but he gets caught up thinking with the wrong head about that whole position of marriage. So they're like, you have to go through this these traditional trials to become prince, so that you'll be able to have your position as prince, and then it could be officiated for you to get married. But he ends up meeting a local girl who ends up being a hand or a helper to him, and they end up building a relationship, and that becomes where his feelings differ from what the tradition is in the city or the country of Zamunda. So after that, it's trying to mend the relationships and finding out who they are as people and what needs to change within the customs and the nation, so everyone could be at their best selves and feel happy, and then they try to become a functioning and loving family with good rulership at the end of the movie. So that is the premise. So the things that I liked about the movie, that one, the jokes at the movie, the jokes were very funny. Tracy Morgan was definitely a highlight. He was actually one of my favorite characters throughout the movie. First of all, Tracy Morgan is a gem when it comes to this Hollywood thing, or when it comes to comedy, and he just delivered. There's a very funny exchange between him and Arsenio Hall that I enjoyed immensely. There was a flashback scene that they had in the movie, and with that flashback scene, they used de-aging technology, and it also composited with old image or old scenes from the last movie. And to me personally, I just felt like that was a technical marvel, and we have just been improving and going on. Martin Scorsese did The Irishman, and that had most of the movie was de-aging, but in this short small scene, I felt like it was a technical marvel and definitely much improved upon of where the technology is. So I definitely give that a plus for them doing that. What I also enjoyed was Jermaine Fowler, who plays Eddie Murphy's son. I liked his contrast of adjusting from coming from America, from living in poverty, to coming into a new situation of royalty and riches, and just his adjustment period of trying to get accustomed to that was engaging and something to invest in. And also the hijinks of him trying to learn his way of being Prince was very, very attractive and very funny as well. The movie very quickly but very importantly touches on how times changed in the last 30 years politically and socially. It's not overhanded, but it gets to the point, and it discusses the adjustments and the thoughts of how to interact with women, understanding people's sexuality and also people's gender identity. And it's kind of like a culture shock, but it's very to the point, because it's coming at Prince Akeem for him to understand that things are different from once he knew before. And they also bring out gentrification and how times change, and even Queens. There was Wesley Snipes. He, as I said before, he was the external threat, and he opposed against the nation of Samunda. But for me, hearing him and having his African accent, it just made me really think of what could have been as Wesley Snipes as Black Panther or King T'Challa. I feel like he definitely delivered. And there was one unbelievable thing with Wesley Snipes. My man was a Demolition Man. He was at, War in 1600 or The Art of War, and what else, man? He's Blade. And they tried to play my man quickly, like, yo, but the things you do for a paycheck, man, Uncle Sam will get at your taxes hard, right? And so then there was also something that I also loved was the fashion and the colors were vibrant, stylish, expressive, and beautiful. Everyone looked wonderful and beautiful, and everything was tailored nicely. And that was also a good highlight to see. And it is important to see the higher class of society in Africa, because it changes the stigma and the imagery of poverty and flies on the faces.
Those hungry babies with the flies on the face.
Hey, oh, that's too much. Now you stepped over the line. Now
so that's a very good highlight. What I liked about the movie was it is a great continuation of the saga of Coming to America. It has homage to remind you of what happened before, but it has good additives and it also stands alone good on its own story as you follow Jermaine Fowler. It is not great, but it is a good movie. It is PG-13 and the grade is right. So I wouldn't project this on your little ones, but I will say that the movie is definitely good for 13 and up. It's definitely humorous, it's funny. As I said, the beautiful imagery of African culture, plus for the older heads being reunited with a movie that's such a classic, but to see where these people are 30 years later is a great extension. So I definitely enjoyed the movie. For the Nerdy Brew, I give this grade a 6.3. And with that being said, I would love to know if you've seen Coming to America. Love to know your thoughts. Like, share, comment, subscribe, do all that good stuff so we can bring Brucers to the community. And I'm gonna bring this video to an end, and I want you to be you, do you, see the bigger picture. Have a fantastic day because you deserve it. This is that channel. Jeez.